What can we do as Americans? What can we do?
So, to call to the elected officials, and we have it all on our website, criesfromsyria.com, to support the organizations that are on the field. There is a huge list of organizations that we have on our website, from Doctors Without the Borders to Save the Children to IRC. All these organizations, they are supporting these people who seeking shelter. What the world don't understand, and what was the missing link in the media, that they're seeking shelter. And this, what I'm trying to explain with the movie. We have a huge campaign that I doing with my amazing team. We going and educating our government. We did a screening at the Congress in May 2017, this year. We did a bipartisan screening in Washington. And we were having meetings with different Congress people, again, both sides. And again, same question was asked, same question, what we can do. Because even they lost. In terms of the foreign policy, we are right now kind of lost, and they lost. So we're educating our government. Now, I was doing a training with Department of Homeland Security. I was training our asylum officers with this movie. We had discussions. I was doing recently a lot of screenings at the universities. We're launching a toxic trauma program with Dr. Irvin Redlinger, who is a pediatrician and who actually wants to help to the kids who are going through the trauma. Because this movie is a lot about kids. It's about younger generation that born and their first steps, they're going into the war. Their first toys is the guns. And you know what? And it's amazing, their spirit, these kids, this what was a huge inspiration for me. All these amazing kids whom you saw in the movie. And again, for the first time, I'm jumping from one subject to another. You can see that for the first time, I put it all three iconic images that the world familiar. Ilan Kurdi, 2015 September. This child that was found on the shores of Turkey, on the shores of Bodrum. This child symbolizing for me a death of younger generation of Syrians, of the kids. Then Amran, whom you saw by the end of the movie. In August 2016, entire world learned about this kid who survived. And for me, he's the symbolizing struggle and survival. And Bana Alabed, whom you saw in this beautiful song, you know what, Bana, so optimistic. She just was months ago in the United States. She wrote a book. She survived Aleppo stuff. So for me, she's the hope for the future of this generation. So I think we, as nation, if we can go to our government, this bill basically talking about sanctions. So it's passed on the 16th of May, when we were there. They passed it through the House. It basically talks about sanctions against Assad, sanctions that basically not allowing to the people to sell him weapons. So if it will pass a Congress, and it's still not passed the Congress, but when it will pass the Congress, people who will be supplying Assad with the weapon will have the same issues like Russians having right now, so it's sanctions. They're trying to freeze assets of Assad. That will be also a big portion of this. And also to create a blacklist like we having against some certain Russian individuals who are not allowed to travel into the United States or to some European countries. So our government doing some things. It still need a push. So we are the people who can push these things. We are the people who can support the organizations. So there is a lot of healthy elements that you can find at our website, criesfromsyria.com.
What in your mind is a peaceful resolution? How would that ever come about?
You know what? Every interview, and I did over hundreds of interviews, every interview that I was doing with the kids, I was asking, not only kids, everybody, I was asking, what you want that the world will know or will do for you, for the Syrian people. And you know what it was? Two things. Everybody close their eyes. Sorry. Get the fuck out of Syria. It means every organizations, every terroristic organizations, every army, everybody needs to leave and allow Syrians to fight with their own enemy, that is Bashar al-Assad. Or help us to bring the peace. This is two solutions that Syrians giving. Now, both of them complicated because, you know, there is a lot of militias inside involved. You have so many different militias groups, some of them created by Assad himself. We were discussing this before. So it's hard to get all of them. But sanctions, it's a healthy start. coalition who trying to kick out ISIS, that like I explained to you, on a Syrian territory. ISIS and Jabhat al-Nusra, that is Al-Qaeda affiliated, were created by Assad. So this is the beginning when we are with the coalition trying to fight these things. Now, again, diplomatic ways, international pressure, slowly, slowly, things can calm down. But again, we need to pay attention to these things. But in order these things can happen, we, as the humanity, we need to learn about these people. We need to know who are these people. Because, like I said, we have a lack of knowledge about them. I told you before when we were having a chat, one of the obstacles that who came to them to ask for their story, who wanted to tell their story, they didn't want it to basically trust me. You know why? Not because I was born in Russia and Russians attacking them, because I'm American. They feeling that we as the nation, as the humanity, betrayed them. And you know why? Because of the red line that Obama drew. Because of the idea that they saw that we came to Iraq, we came to Libya, we helped to the people. From the beginning, they were hoping that we will come and help them. And it's not happened. If you saw on in Jalut massacre, on the kids' drawings, you saw the American soldier with the American flag. It's dreams of the kids. They were hoping that we will come and help them to bring this democracy, to bring freedom of speech, freedom of expression that we having through our founding fathers, and something that they are fighting for. But unfortunately, it's not happened. The chemical attacks were repeating itself over and over and over. We only heard this year about one chemical attack that over and over right now, United Nations talking everything. But it was over 12 chemical attacks this year there. The attacks started since 2012. Nobody talking about that. So at the end of the day, they had a dream, they had a hope, and we as humanity betrayed them. And I tried to explain to them, no, we're not. We are not bad people. We just lack of knowledge. And that's true. We are lack of knowledge. Most of the people didn't know everything what's happened between 2011 till 2015. So for me, it was a challenge, but in the same time, it was some kind of a responsibility as a documentary filmmaker to go learn about them, to take their stories and to bring it to the world so that the world can hear their voices, can hear what exactly happened, why they are all fleeing their own homes and trying to survive. Because as you saw, in their own country, the choices are limited. To die in the prisons of Assad from the torture, to die from the chemical weapon that every day happening there, to die from the ISIS or from the bombings that Russians having. So they're trying to survive. They're looking for shelter. So at the end of the day, I witnessed these and I wanted to bring their voices so the world can learn about them and be enlightened.